Good evening, everyone, or good morning, whatever the case may be, wherever you are. My name is Randy Schrader. If it were a perfect world, I would just snap my fingers right now and I would gather you here together in our living room so that we could share a cup of coffee or a sparkling water and just have a conversation. That's what I'd really like to do because I would like to understand what's important to you. I would like to understand what the opportunities are in your life, and I'd like to understand what the challenges are. Because in so doing, we could then, I believe, arrive at a conclusive set of behaviors that would cause Lev AI to help you. What is Lev AI? That stands for Leverage Artificial Intelligence. We find ourselves at an interesting moment in the history, really, of the entire planet. And say, wow, what's that about, Randy? Well, I remember back in 1982, I had a friend named Andy Kay. Andy Kay formed a company called K-Pro Computer, launched within a few weeks of when Apple Computer was launched. I remember the first day that I saw it on his desk. Andy could see the future. I could not. Andy told me that day, Randy, the day will come when the entire world adopts computerization and there will be no choice. Those who do not adopt will be left behind. He had vision. My field of vision was this far. And so I used computer technology, but I didn't become a catalyst that caused others to use that technology. I did not become a catalyst that caused that which was destined to occur a little bit more quickly. See, that day, did I really have a choice of whether I chose to adopt computerization? No, I didn't. Andy was right. The whole world was going to adopt. And if I did not, I would be left behind. I used, a couple of years later, I had another chance. I had another bite at that apple and I missed it again. What was that? It was the onset of the internet. I remember the very first dial up modem and hearing that fax sound coming through and then waiting for what seemed like ever to wait for one website to open. And at that moment in time, I didn't have the vision. Again, I could only see this far. I didn't have the vision to realize that the entire world was going to become dependent, not just reliant, but dependent upon the internet. Had I chosen not to just use, but had I chosen to find a way to be a catalyst that would cause other people to act based upon my guidance instead of waiting for someone else to describe the possibilities, how different my life may have been, as wonderful and as gifted and as blessed as I've been. We find ourselves at a similar moment right now. I want you to think back and reflect upon it. Did you really have a choice about whether you adopted computerization? No, you didn't. Did you really have a choice about whether you adopted the online world? No, you didn't. And I want you to know that just as certainly, neither you nor I have a choice today. We are going to adopt artificial intelligence. The question is, will we become a catalyst that causes others to do what they were destined to do just a little bit more quickly? And might our affiliation in Lev AI, a company whose stated purpose is to bring accessible artificial intelligence, not just to the marketing expert, but to all of planet Earth. That is what this is about. Welcome to our discussion this evening about a company called Leverage AI, a new company, but I assure you that we do not suffer the risks that are typically a part and a parcel of being involved with a new venture. Why? Because our company is owned by a gentleman named Terry LaCour. He is easily researched and identified to know exactly the man you're dealing with. This is a person with immense financial resources, a person who has every single past success, current success, knowledge, and ability necessary to provide us with an umbrella under which we can grow and thrive. Terry's style is that he finances, owns companies, but does not manage them. He manages the overall. And he then delegates to skilled and gifted people the individual management of each entity inside the ecosystem. I am so proud and I'm so grateful that he chose my son Blake as the person who would guide this ship into the future. And that was a decision that I could not make, by the way. Only Mr. LaCour could make that choice. He made it because of Blake's genetics, I think, to some degree. He also made it because of Blake's background. Blake grew up in the home of an entrepreneur. He understands the sacrifices that are made, and he understands the requirement to honor those sacrifices years later. He's an attorney. He understands the complexity of global business. He has managed large network marketing companies all over the world. He guided a company called Medical Marijuana Incorporated when he was the CEO of that company. He guided it through the dramatic transition when cannabis stopped being villainized and became, in some families, a literal lifesaver and one who has helped so many people so much. Blake has a combination of experiences which position him well for this very moment in time. And his non-compete agreement from his last success just expired, making him eligible. I am so happy and proud and grateful for that choice. I know what the future holds. Under the imprimatur of Terry LaCour and under the daily guidance of Blake, the world literally is at our fingertips. When I began talking about AI not too long ago around coffee shop tables, it was fascinating to me to find out that the conversation was ongoing. I was not provoking the conversation, it was ongoing. And then it was fascinating for me to find out that it wasn't just happening around coffee tables, it was also happening on first class cabins of airliners. And then I found out it was also happening in corporate jets. And then I found out it was happening in the most powerful boardrooms in the world. Here's Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, states AI, artificial intelligence, is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. What a statement. What does that say to me? And I hope to you. Let us look back over our shoulders and realize that whatever our most extraordinary successes have been in our life up until now, they were made possible by then existent technology. They were made possible by then existent knowledge. Now, with the onset, with the advent, and with the impending global adoption of AI, AI is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. Therefore, our future successes can be so much bigger than our past. And I can tell you, as one who is an entrepreneur, perhaps you share this with me, when I look back and I see my biggest success was a few years ago, that doesn't make me happy. I want to look ahead and see with clarity my biggest success in front of me. This statement leads me to believe that that can be true for all of us if we act appropriately at this moment in time. And here we can see the deepest mind in deep mind. Demis Hassabis says the difference here with AI, with artificial intelligence, is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution. My gosh, these are some brilliant people, and some of the things they're saying are almost a little bit fantastic, aren't they? Kind of hard to imagine. The difference here with artificial intelligence is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. Folks, I'm hoping that you are beginning to understand that we find ourselves in a different moment of time with a different quality of opportunity than perhaps we've ever seen before. Or in my case, I saw it as a young man with the pending advent of computerization of society. I saw it with the internet, but I didn't have the maturity or the clarity of thought or the life's experiences to act. Today I do. I'm hoping you do too. And I'm hoping you can borrow from my experiences if you don't yet. AI shouldn't be feared. It should be harnessed. It should be leveraged to your benefit and the benefit of people that matter in your lives. There's some interesting numbers here. Numbers which, in my opinion, don't really tell the story. It says that 61% of professional marketers use AI already. That sounds like a big percentage. But remember, it's a tiny percentage of the world who would describe themselves or who would be described by others as professional marketers. It's more like between 5, 6, 7% of the world, normal people who are utilizing AI or trying to in its current convoluted, confused situation as it now exists. But nevertheless, 61% of professional marketers are poking and prodding around, trying. Well, folks, what percentage of professional marketers do you suppose use computers? It's not 61%, it's 100%. What percentage of professional marketers use the internet? Is it 61%? No, it's 100%. That's the percentage of professional marketers who will be compelled to utilize AI or be left behind. That is the truth, right, wrong, or indifferent. Now, I think that when one contemplates and considers the bigger picture is what? There were about 1/4 of 1% of all of humanity who utilized a home computer in 2005. That percentage today is about 90%. The percentage of families around the world who will utilize AI a decade from now will approach that 90% number. Today, around most of the world, is 3 or 4%. This is a change of epic proportion. This is a change that has occurred only 4 times that I can even think of. The first, the Industrial Revolution, I was not there. Computerization, the internet, and now AI. So why are they reporting a 38% increase in sales productivity? That seems insignificant to me. You say, wait a minute, Randy, 38% is a lot. Yeah, but not if this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. That number should be multiples of that. It should be 3,800% or 38,000. Why isn't it? because AI is now delivered is so confusing and so hard to harness. We will harness it for you. 80% of entrepreneurs using AI, using it in the convoluted, complicated mess that it is today, say it gives them a competitive advantage. That's about to turn to 100%. And it's going to be a dramatically more profound advantage for those who learn to leverage AI and to evidence that they've learned how to leverage AI by becoming an affiliate of this company, Lev AI, a company which makes it simple for entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow businesses, and to do so with no expensive CMO agency or complicated tech skills required. Now, I've referenced a couple of times that there are some problems out there in the AI world, and here are some of them. Most people, in fact, all people, because there is not until this moment a one stop shop bringing all together in one house. Therefore, people who are utilizing AI, artificial intelligence, have a solution for their CAM or customer relationship management. They have another solution to grow and expand their social media presence and manage it, another solution to build websites, and on it goes. Overall, a complex, costly, fragmented situation. And we provide a singular solution to a host of problems. I contemplate this fact. There are 388 million small businesses in the world, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. They each, of course, have some degree of uniqueness about them, but they have far more similarity than they have uniqueness. What are those similarities? They would all like more buyers of their product or users of their service. They would all like to improve the profitability of each transaction. They would all like to extend the life of each client relationship, potentially making it permanent. They would all like to feel that they can increase their own profitability while at the same time retaining a great value proposition for the user of that product or service. The single most difficult task for the vast majority of small businesses is finding a way to have a steady, never ending stream of newcomers who, for the first time, begin using their product or service. Why is that so important? Because any second, third, or fourth or reoccurring purchase is not reflective of growth of the enterprise. That is reflective of maintenance of the enterprise. The way to grow a business is to have more people who use the product or service. This will, I'm not saying something I think, I'm saying something I know. Lev AI will make building and maintaining a candidate list far easier. I didn't say easy, I said easier. You'll understand that as we go through our brief conversation ahead. This will remove the barriers that cause people to feel stuck. I'm going to comment on that a little bit more in a moment. And this is maybe my favorite line in this whole presentation. It says it removes the fear of failure. How exactly shall we remove the fear of failure? How about if we teach people a process that causes them to stop failing? That's the most obvious way to remove the fear of failure. Well, welcome to Live AI, because that becomes the current reality. A single solution to myriad problems. First, I've talked about the opportunities in my life that I didn't fully leverage. I didn't leverage the advent of computerization. I didn't leverage the advent of the internet. And I likewise did not leverage the advent of social media. I became users, but I did not become a conduit to other people's use. I was not one of the reasons that that which was destined to occur occurred a little bit more quickly. And the result is that now, all these years later, I've had some successes in my life and I'm somewhat well known in some environments, but I've got this miserable, tiny little social media presence. I didn't know 30 years ago that 30 years later, one would be able to accurately predict one's future results, better or worse, by the amount of influence that they evidenced. And how can one measure one's influence? One great way is to measure one's social media presence. The very moment that one begins utilizing our various CRM, customer relationship management software, the first thing that will happen is that your costs will go down. Whatever you're paying right now for customer relationship management tools, you're paying more than you will pay when that is simply one of the services that is included in Lev AI. And here's something that will happen when you begin using our service. Remember, I said the absence of a defined strategy to create a social media presence? Well, now all of a sudden, every time I have a person who, as a result of a simple screenshot, I import to my CRM, inclusive in the Lev AI solution, then immediately, my digital twin, immediately, my personalized GPT, immediately, the overall process scans the social media presence of every person imported into my CRM. And it tells me their hot button. It tells me what they're thinking and what's important to them. Now, why is that so important to me and to you? I recognized about a decade into my career that I had been focused on trying to persuade other people to do what I wanted them to do for my benefit. That's what I had done for the first decade of my career. Persuade other people to do what I wanted them to do for my benefit. About the 10-year mark, I woke up. And when I woke up, what I realized was this: I need to identify what other people want to do and then help them do what they want at some economic advantage, forgetting forever the idea of trying to persuade someone to do what I want. Well, that demands that we know what people want, doesn't it? And so now suddenly every candidate, they have a social media presence. We know that. People tell their entire life on social media. Suddenly you will know and understand what to say, how to say it, and why. And by the way, your own personalized chat GPT will even provoke the conversations. Say personalized, what does that mean? Well, 700 million people logged into Chat GPT this week, and they were looking for answers, weren't they? And the answers they received were generic. They were not specific to the project, to the company, to the comp plan, to the process of the person's involvement. You imagine the power of your own personalized GPT that is loaded up with your knowledge if you are a content provider, or that is loaded with the knowledge of your teacher, coach, mentor, whomever it is whose guidance you seek. Would you like your own chat GPT, to your own personalized GPT, to be loaded up with the wisdom of Jim Rohn? Would you like it to be loaded up with the wisdom of your personal coach? All of that's available at your fingertips. Another thing that I find so remarkable when I talk about the fact that so many people will have a net negative cost of participation. What do you mean, Randy? I mean, it's going to cost less than zero. Why? Because as I mentioned a moment ago, you probably will be able to eliminate your current CRM, and that will eliminate more than our entire project costs. You will eliminate any costs spent in creating websites. You'll have an instant website builder. It's magic. I've done it myself. Not a simple replicated website like a direct selling company might offer its affiliates. No, I'm talking about the same kind of a website you'd get if you called a tech firm. I built one in about 7 minutes, and so can you. No added cost. And then this one, I can't say there's any part of this that's most important, but this is really important, folks. What I've come to understand is this: there is, in fact, a proved and predictable pattern of activities. There is no luck and there is no guesswork. If we do A, we'll get B. And if we do B, we'll get C. And if we don't, we don't. I was taught that by a knowledgeable leader. His name was Nathan Ricks. He also taught me that there are no new mistakes. There are old people making old mistakes, and there are new people making old mistakes. And he taught me that if we could inoculate, if we could behave in a prophylactic way and get in front of those mistakes, that we would put an incredible multiplier on our results. And then when he said, Randy, there's a proved and predictable pattern of activities, I learned something about myself and I learned something about many others. People periodically refer to me now as a leader. I'm called that a lot. But what I really am is probably the best follower you'll ever encounter. I look and I look and I look. I search until I find a person or people or an organization who is accomplishing what I want to accomplish and is then willing to teach me how to do what they have done to create the success. And when I find that, I get dead exactly in the path, and I don't look left and I don't look right and I don't look up and I don't look down. I follow the path and I don't break out of the path until it's become evident to me and to others that I've actually become better at what I was taught by the teacher. If that ever happens, then I break my own path. But between here and there, I follow. I look back over my shoulder and I find that there are so few people who do likewise. So few. Now I imagine, what if there was a constant reminder? I happen to be a pilot. I have an instrument rating, and I am constantly, when flying on instruments in the clouds, I'm constantly course correcting and coming back closer and closer to the center line. Well, what if you had a series of reminders built in over the course of every day, and you're getting the touch? Today is due to day two in your new member orientation or onboarding process. These were assignments for day two. It doesn't appear you've done it yet. Here is the assignment again. Please complete it. And then upon completing it, you push send, and your sponsor, upline, or teacher, or coach knows it. Over the course of my career, I've never met a single person, not one, who has done that which is required to succeed, but done it poorly and therefore failed. It's never happened. I have sadly encountered so many people who have simply not done that which was required to succeed. I now imagine that constant course correction, bringing us back to the center line, to the center line, to the center line, to keep us at the MEA, the minimum en route altitude in our business, above the rocks, so that we can successfully navigate to the next destination. Absolute immeasurable value. And then I also contemplate this. There are so few people over the course of my career who have followed the path precisely and exactly. And when I've had multiple conversations, there is a recurring theme. And the recurring theme is people are frozen in fear. Frozen in fear. What's that about? Well, most people who become entrepreneurs became one. They didn't start that way. They were an employee. And as an employee, they were given the opportunity to react to demands of the employer. Boundaries put around it. Here's what time you come to work. Here's what time you go home. Here is the task you're assigned to do. Here's the report you must file. A series of behaviors in your job description that you react to, and that keeps you safe. Well, what if those shoes don't fit? What if, like me, you don't want to work for someone else? You want to work for yourself. What if you want to work when you want, where you want, with whom you want, and if you want? Well, if those things are your desire, then you, like me, will gravitate to entrepreneurship. But now suddenly one must become proactive, and we've lost the security blanket of reactivity. These nudges over the course of a day, these nudges helping a person gradually make this transition from reactive to proactive will be the difference in success and failure for countless people. And then imagine this, just imagine this. Imagine that as part of the process, you had contacts that were provided to you who had asked for additional information. Would that not be remarkably easier? Someone says, "Hi, John. Hi, Jane. Hi, Jill. I have interest in this project. I understand you have knowledge. Can you help me understand?" Isn't that a conversation that so many more people could join as opposed to having to provoke a conversation? I have knowledge about a concept that might have value to you. Would you like to discuss it? That takes a total different personality and or set of skills. One purely proactive, one reacting to the request of the candidate, thereby making a perfect bridge between the reactivity of employment and the proactivity of entrepreneurship. And here's the beauty, folks. I have always stayed away from lead generation programs simply because if a person spends money on a lead and the lead does not result in the new participant or customer, that can lead to resentment. But what if there is no added cost? Then it would be only good. Over 2 billion prospects to search and grow, no added cost included inside your monthly subscription. Quite a remarkable thing. And I, by the way, have experimented with that. There is a lot to what we've described already. And I suppose, not surprisingly, there is more. Every plan and at launch, which is only a few days away now, next week, at launch, every plan will include your own AI twin. Now, when I say every plan, there will be two at launch, a third one about 30 days later. An avatar that looks just like you, talks like you, acts like you, has your mannerisms, and you can give it any script, or you can use your personalized GPT to create one. And unlike you, or unlike me at least, your AI twin can speak fluently in 150 languages. Folks, there's nothing that we offer that will cost more than $150. And at the outset, the two plans introduced, I believe, I don't know final pricing yet. Blake will explain it tomorrow, but I believe that will be $50 and $100. Such a limited price for such an extraordinary offering. I believe that the flow of new member applications will transcend. It will be unlike, it will dwarf anything any of us have ever seen in our lives and in our careers. Your AI video twin, your likeness, your voice speaking your script flawlessly in 150 plus languages, and you can even use your personalized GPT to generate the script. A personalized writing assistant, this part of the process to grow your social media network. Business profiles, what if you have more than one message to deliver? Then it would be appropriate to have more than one profile because the dialogue one would have with a team member is not the same as the dialogue one would have if I'm a life insurance agent and I have a customer or client. So multiple profiles. Next, AI powered social growth and engagement. Folks, this is again part of the process of helping our candidate do what the candidate wants to do instead of trying to impose our will on the candidate. That's not just a simple play on words. That's the difference in something that feels good to them and to us versus something that does not, and something that a person who has never learned how to ask for an order. You don't have to ask for an order if you're helping somebody do what they want to do, as opposed to trying to convince them to do what you want to do. The CRM with screenshot import, as I've described, with ongoing, continuing enrichment of your knowledge of that candidate, instant website builder, enhanced CRM with professional lead funnels. People have asked me over the course of my career so many times, Randy, will you help close my candidate? No, no, I won't, because I don't want to be closed. What I want to do is be guided towards my objective, whatever it is, a funnel that will introduce your candidate to that proved predictable pattern of activities, which results in him or her arriving at their correct conclusion, whatever it is, in the shortest possible period of time. That gives you time leverage and lets you start the process again as we continue to search for those who are looking for that which we offer, as opposed to trying to convince someone that they should want what we offer. Enhanced CRM with professional lead funnels and over 2 billion searchable prospects. And now, folks, bang the gong and ring the bell and shout it from the rooftops. Those who choose to push yourself aggressively against the grinding wheel, those who require of yourselves that you live at the top of the compensation plan, you will have an interactive AI, an actual conversant version of your digital twin. I am giddy as I contemplate people in China, people in Indonesia, people in Russia, when it's 3 a.m. and I have always had to be awake, paying $150 an hour for an interpreter. Now, instead, my digital twin that has been loaded with 50 years of life and entrepreneurial experience, loaded with so much content, it can actually converse. And you can train your digital twin or avatar on your library of thought leadership, coaching, and training. You can teach it what you want it to know. So the message delivered is the right message. And once again, those of you who are content creators, now you get to deliver the best of yourself in 150 languages. I can only be one place at one time. My digital twin can be every place at one time. And it makes it really easy to say this is unmatched value, folks. You could not begin to buy even the digital twin, just that, for the amount of money that is here represented as being saved. You'll replace unneeded subscriptions, at least $300, maybe $800 worth per month if you're already trying to use AI. And so, what exactly is the market opportunity? It's not like anything you've done before. It's not some certain percentage of people who want to wear braces. It's a lot. It's not some percentage of people who need new eyeglasses. No, 100% of the global society will be compelled to adopt artificial I call artificial intelligence. I fell into the trap. I called it artificial information on one Zoom, and sometimes that leaps back into my head. No, artificial intelligence. The market is as big as the planet. That's the truth. How big is the market? There are 7 billion people wandering around planet Earth right now. 96% of them don't use AI yet. 93% of them are going to 50 years from now, 15 years from now. That is the market opportunity. And so now we all arrive at this point of conclusion. Do we simply use like I use the computer? Do we simply use like I use the internet? We're all going to use AI. We don't have any choice any more than we had choices then. The question is, will we likewise be a conduit to someone else's use? Will we be a catalyst in causing that which is destined to occur a little more quickly? If so, we'll be compensated for it. And it starts as simply as this: when you are the conduit to someone else's acquisition of the product, of the package, whatever one they pick, one, two, or three, you'll be paid 50% of what that purchase price was right then, that first month. It's important to know that there is no artificial dilution of the dollar. In many home-based businesses, solopreneur environments, a person, if there was $1,000 purchase made at a given company, most frequently they will then put 600 or 700 volume points into a commission structure. That's not the way that it works here. A dollar in goes into the compensation plan. A pure cash-based compensation plan, no artificial dilution to PV or CV. We meet the needs of society. In fact, let's not talk about society, let's talk about you. We meet you where you are. If you are not interested in building teams, but you do know and understand that society will embrace You need not ever recruit another member to join the business. You can simply introduce the product to them, and every person that you've introduced, as they buy and then use their ongoing subscription, you'll be paid 20% of their ongoing subscription from now on. So long as their subscription is active, you are getting paid. For people who are influencers, people who have had a moment in the sun and they want to further leverage that moment, they don't want to build teams, but they want to get paid again for that notoriety, pay 20% of cash on Gen 1. For those who, like me, who have invested your career in building teams, this is a simple 8 generation deep unilevel comp plan, 20% on Gen 1 for all, then 4% through 7 more generations. And whenever an idea, and by the way, 4% of cash, not of some artificially reduced number, BV, CV, and so on. Whenever an idea is red hot, it will go fast. And when it goes fast, there will be more participants than there is leadership available to teach those participants. The compensation plan must have some provision in it, which incents a true leader to work way, 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 way deeper than any block of volume like a unilevel may make possible. That's why it's critically important to have an infinity bonus to incent leadership to keep working, irrespective of how deep in the structure it comes, such that leadership is connected together. That ensures the long-term viability of the business. When at the unilevel, it runs out of that 4% 8 generation block, no problem. That same 4% continues in infinity payment until you've replaced yourself in the compensation plan. The leverage matching bonus. This is critically important, folks. This is when we're getting paid because other people are getting paid. A 4 generation leveraged matching bonus. Of course, there'll be more matching bonuses on generation 2 than on 1, twice as many on 3 as on 2, twice as many as on 4 as on 3, as time plays its way out. Unique to this compensation plan, the matching bonus is predicated upon all parts of the compensation plan. Someone in your first 4 generations of enrollment tree earns an acquisition bonus, you get a matching bonus. Someone earns a team commission, you get a matching bonus. Someone earns an infinity payout, you get a matching bonus. This will create the largest checks, in my estimation, that this type of business, solopreneur, entrepreneurship, home-based business has ever seen. Why? Because there has never been a company where the opportunity was roughly equal to the size of the global population. This is different than anything we've ever done before. This is not an extension of our careers. This is a complete inflection point. It is a moment that should not be taken for granted and obviously should not be ignored. And so I ask myself the question, and I let you listen. You might ask yourselves the same question. Randy, unlike your experience when you saw that first K-Pro computer, are you ready to not just use, but to be a conduit to other people's use and to therefore lead the artificial intelligence world with what? With Lev AI. Are you ready to not just adopt and embrace as the world required of you, the internet? Are you ready to not just adopt and embrace, but are you ready to become a catalyst in other people's adoption? If so, then this is, in fact, a magic moment for you. Pose those questions to yourself and recognize that there is an air of absolute inevitability. Is AI going to sweep the world? Yes. Is it going to sweep the world whether or not you do it? Yes. Is it going to sweep the world whether or not I do it? Yes. Could we conspire to stop it from occurring? No. Then that's where you ring the bell. It's going to happen. It's going to happen with or without you. It would happen if you did all in your power to stop it. That's the moment. That's the moment of opportunity. So few people have never had that clarity. That is what has made my world the way, that's what's made my life the joy that it's been and the fascination. If you're not yet engaged in this company, please notify whoever invited you that you need to receive the online application. It takes about 90 seconds, and there is no cost associated with that until we go live sometime in the next handful of days. Also, please request the registration link to our WhatsApp group so that you always know what's happening and when. Folks, I really appreciate your patience and your willingness to share this time with me. I'm going to call upon my friend and counterpart, Larry Lane, and ask him to fill in the blanks and add any points of emphasis and correct any mistakes I may have made. Larry, fire away.
Hey Randy, you don't make mistakes. We all know that. No, you did a great job always. Yeah, another great, our team just hit 6,000. So I'm so excited. I was excited about AI. I wanted to learn more about it. I saw this less than 2 weeks ago, and I'm telling you, when I see something my dad taught me, you go after it. It's absolutely free right now. You should be talking to everybody you know, because if you don't, me and Randy are going to talk to them. That's the truth. But yeah, Randy, I'm telling you, and I've got people that are so excited. On the journey of network marketing and MLM, you meet so many great people along the road. You take them with you, you work in different companies. But the one thing I'm finding about Lev AI, I can talk to anybody. I don't care if they're a company owner. I don't care if they've been in a travel business for 7 years. I don't care if they have nutritional products. I can show them how AI can actually help their sales, can help grow their check in their current business. That is what is so brilliant about this. But when I see people, even people that have struggled in before to bring people into the business, when they've already got 150, 200 people in their team, they're so excited to be on these Zooms. There will be 1,000 people on that Zoom tomorrow night with Blake. I promise you, we'll max it out at 1,000. Go to your email, make sure you're registered for that Zoom, but it's going to get bigger. I mean, right now I've got 6,000 people in my team. By the holidays, I want to have 60,000 or 100,000. That's where we're going with this. Randy just said AI is going to happen with or without us. You can either get in front of it and make an absolute fortune with a company like Lev AI as we help educate the entire planet. I've got 30 countries on my team. I've got people in the Zoom right now in Vietnam. I've got people in South Africa. I've got people all over the world. You need to be reaching out and say, look, this is free. Take a free position. You're going to get VIP access. You'll be one of the first ones in this company. Take a free spot. And from there, like Randy said, plug them into the WhatsApp group, plug them into Telegram, get them plugged in, get them on the email list, and it's going to grow. Because I'm telling you, this is a very exciting time. A lot of people out there are hurting for money. A lot of people need to build a residual income. So many people, if you ask, have you heard about AI? What are your thoughts on AI? Say, what are your thoughts on AI? They're going to tell you exactly what they think about it. You've now got Lev AI. So if they're not educated on it, you can educate them. If they want to make money from it, you can do that at Lev AI. We've got the answer for whatever they need. So, Randy, I'm honored to be here with you. I know what Terry and Blake are going to pull off, and it's going to be absolutely life changing. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry. I'll tell you, it's life changing already. Why? Because I'm more happy than I was 16 days ago. That's the truth, because I have so much confidence and optimism in the future. Now, folks, John C. Maxwell said that encouragement is oxygen for the soul. And then he said, breathe deeply. I want to give you all just a tiny bit of encouragement. I have a friend named Bev. Bev has been in my community for the last 2.5 years, and she's been pushing herself hard against the grinding wheel. She has become different than she was when she joined. But you know what, Larry? I think in Bev's experience, I don't believe that she's ever had more than 3 people in her enrollment tree in any direct selling company. And she's tried 2 or 3. She's a great person. I don't think she's ever had more than 2 or 3. This morning she called me and she said, Randy, I have 134 people in my enrollment tree. 134 people. Folks, for those of you who have struggled, who have floundered, who have flailed, who have thought this is just not for me, folks, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it is the project that is not right. See, Bev is the same person today as she was 16 days ago. She works on improving, but she hasn't improved a lot in 16 days. 16 days ago, the same person was accomplishing almost nothing in a direct selling company. 16 days later, she has 134 people in her group. I'm doing a Zoom for her tomorrow. I personally believe that she'll have 200 by tomorrow night. Folks, if you have struggled before, understand that every once in a while, a project comes along that is so profound that people's eyes go to the project. One of the reasons it's hard to break through is because so frequently people say, how's it working for you, Larry? How's it working for you? Well, I haven't made any money. That's what they see. When the product is so profound that people look past you to the product or to the opportunity, this is the greatest moment for those looking for their first success. Do not let it slip by. Sorry to take those extra minutes. That was important. God bless Bev because she let me see again a little glimpse of the future. And I hope you see it too. Encouragement is oxygen for the soul. Breathe deeply, folks. Be encouraged. Now, tomorrow, we'll do our regular Zoom at at noon Eastern time. Larry mentioned, don't forget to register for Blake Zoom. Doesn't need to register this time, Larry. All they've got to do is click on it. No registration required. You've all received an email. If you have not received an email from the company with that Zoom link, remember at 9 tomorrow night, it will not be in this Zoom link. It will not be a business presentation. It will be Blake giving us a very, very important corporate update, timelines, and so on. God bless everybody. Larry, thank you. And we'll see
Thank
you
you,
all
Randy.
at the top. Bye bye.